this is my second report, which is Feminist Criticism and Technologies of the Body by Stacy Gillis. So what is feminist criticism and technologies of the body? It is an understanding of the body as technologically constituted was one of the key discursive shifts in both postmodern and feminist theories in the late 1980s. Sorry for the background. Research on gender, the body, and technology emerged simultaneously in a number of disciplines, from literature to sociology, from cybernetics to history, and has since proposed a number of ways in which we can and should understand the body as and in technology. While I will be drawing upon many of these debates, I am here particularly concerned with how the body is articulated in cyberspace and cyber theory. Both the relationship of technology and cyberspace with the body in real life, or IRL, and how this relationship has been represented in the new techno-fictions, both literary and filmic, which have emerged in the past 30 years. Next, let us talk about cyborg. So, the figure of cyborg is the combination of the human and the technologies has become a symbol of the relationship between the body and technology. The cyborg also defines the contemporary cyberpunk and science fiction text, whether it is the hard-boiled consult cowboy case in William Gibson Neuromancer 1984 or the hypersexualized 7 of 9 in Star Trek Voyager in 1995 to 2001. Its ability both to interrogate and terrify the category of the human has resulted in its appropriation by many who are eager to claim the disruptive postmodernity that it contains and represents. Next is we talk about technological embodiment. Technological embodiment is foregrounded by the metal fusion of the cyborg, which serves to accentuate the material physicality of embodiment. While the body is the most culturally common and the most idealized stand in real life, it is produced as the real by processes of representation. Embodiment is contextual. Embodiment never coincides exactly with the body. However, the normalized concept understood. Next is a cyborg manifesto, science, technology, and socialist feminism in the late 20th century in 1985 by Donna Haraway. Haraway cyborg is a myth about transgressed boundaries, potent fusions, and dangerous possibilities. 1991 to 154. She argues for non-essentialist version of the relationship between sex and gender. There is nothing about being female that naturally binds women. For Haraway, the transgressive fusion of meat and metal, body and technology, human and machine in the cyborg is a powerful tool for the feminist imagination, for grounding the artifice of gender and questioning the integrity of the Enlightenment body. So let's talk about cyberfeminism. For Plant, cyberfeminism is an exaggeration on the part of the goods and material of the patriarchal world. This first emergence composed of links between women and computers and communication links, connection and connectionist nets in 1996 to 2000. She emphasizes her argument that women have always been intrinsically connected with cybernetic technologies. Her notion of being woman is largely predicated upon an account of women's historical kinship and empathy with the technological. argument that women and feminism should find a natural home in cyberspace is embedded within an understanding of the internet as a bodiless space in which identity remains playful. The internet promises women a network of lines on which to chatter, natter, work, and play. Virtually brings a fluidity to identities which once had to be fixed. And multimedia provides a tactile environment in which women artists can find their space. Women, through these new technologies, are accessing the circuits on which they were once exchanged, hacking into security controls and discovering their own post-humanity. That is according to Plant in 1996 to 2000. So let's move to cyberpunk. Cyberpunk draws upon the technological to render its account of the female body as cyborg. Feminist cyberpunk envisions something that feminist theory badly needs. Multiply position subjects who can negotiate and succeed in a high-tech, postmodern world. Women writers have begun to use cyberpunk for just purpose, resisting the conservative politics of their masculinist predecessors, grappling with the realities of technologies, and exploring new forms for the subject of feminism. So my learnings and realizations according to this topic: understanding gender, both in terms of identity and representation, as technological provides one escape route from the reification of the Enlightenment body. We can begin to assemble a reading of how certain accounts of women and femininity are constructed and contained by particular readings of the technological. I identified a shared concern with the body's relationship to technology, not only in terms of the possibility of becoming post-human, but an ethical awareness that all bodies matter, that all bodies are vulnerable. Perhaps I was most drawn to these texts because when I came to them, I was struggling with my own vulnerability, and in them I found stories of belonging and hope. While Star Trek appeals to desire to escape from the everyday to become better than you are, these feminist post-cyberpunk novels ground me in the realities of the present day. I cannot replace my body, technology will not cure me, and I am vulnerable. This is not to say that the future must remain as difficult or continue to be difficult in the same way. By stressing the importance of the body, feminists post-cyberpunk ask us to recognize the shared vulnerability that defines human being. These narratives provide us with a starting point in which disparate bodies might come together to tackle the increasing technological, political, economic, social, and environmental woes of today. It is only after we see ourselves in the vulnerable other that we can begin to fully appreciate our shared diversity and adaptability as we continue to evolve towards an uncertain future. While the figure and the metaphor of the cyborg can be deeply problematic, it reminds us that in order to think critically about technology, we must always return to human. So, that's all of my report. Thank you.